Hey there, everybody. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another edition of our concert review. Sorry for the sloppy Schenker playing there. My fingers just ain't working too right today. Anyway, that was supposed to be rock bottom. Kind of sucked, but anyway. So many of you have asked me to play little ditties here on the show, and I'm normally not one to do stuff like that, but there you have it. Next time I'll plug in. Maybe it'll sound a little better, but my little Flying V here, my Carina V here today. Anyway, we're going to do a review of last night's Michael Schenker Fest show at Irving Plaza in New York City, which I was happy to attend. And very cool to run into a bunch of you at the show. That was kind of neat. I ran into a handful of viewers at the concert, either within Irving Plaza, at various places, by the bar, by the merch stand, whatever. And then I ran into a little group in the subway, which was kind of neat. So very cool to meet all you guys. Sorry I forgot all your names, but definitely pop in and say hi. I'm the guy you met last night or whatever. And let me know, any of you guys, if ever I announce that I'm going to a show in like the New York area and you guys are going to be attending as well, let me know. I'm happy to try and meet up with you and say hello and maybe share a beer or something like that. Anyway, on to the show last night. So I was looking forward to this because I did not see the Schenker Fest tour, the first part of the tour last year. I missed it. But I heard a lot of great things about it, so I was very excited to go see this show. So last night was it. All right, nice Saturday night in New York City. And not as crowded as I thought it was going to be, which I think for me was a good thing, because as an older guy, standing up for 3 hours in sardine can crowds doesn't really do a hell of a lot for me anymore. But there was a good crowd, not sold out, but definitely wiggle room, which was kind of nice. So a very good set list. Featuring probably most of everything you'd want to hear, specifically from most of the Schenker catalog, and then a few UFO favorites at the end and right in the beginning. So the one thing I do want to kind of get out of the way first and just knock it out so we don't dwell on it. But this is actually going to be a plea to Michael himself, all right, who I respect immeasurably. He's one of my biggest guitar heroes, has been for like 40 years. I love the guy. We all love him, right? But he's doing something on this tour that, and wasn't just last night's show. I've heard he's been doing it at every show that I don't agree with, and I'm sure there's a lot of people who really don't care to hear this. So he's been in this kind of like very public war with his brother Rudolph and the rest of the guys in the Scorpions over some really stupid shit that I think, you know what, if that's how he really feels, that's fine. But I don't think we, the fans, need to keep hearing it. So, Michael last night, they came out on stage like 8 o'clock on the dot, and Michael comes out, and it's just him and Steve Mann on guitar and keyboards and Boba Chef on drums. And he comes out, and first thing he starts talking about is the song he's going to play is a song he wrote for the Scorpions, and then he talks about how, this, and then they played another song off they played Love Drive later on, and he talks about how, basically his brother and the Scorpions screwed him. He wrote those songs, and then they never got paid for them, and on and on and on, bitching about how he got screwed over by his brother and not really saying nice things. And I'm thinking, he does it with a smile on his face, and I'm thinking, man, this is not the right venue for this kind of shit, right? And I'm like, why are you going there? Why are you airing your dirty laundry in front of hundreds of thousands of people, or hundreds of people a night, or a couple thousand, whatever it might be, night after night after night? Like, it hasn't been already said in the media enough, right? And it just comes across real whiny and cold, and it's just like, dude, stop bitching. You're better than this. Right? It's like, you don't need to air your dirty laundry like this. If you and your brother, and from most of what I've read, most people in the Scorpions camp and surrounding, I've heard Uli say, they don't understand why Michael is being so vengeful towards his brother and his ex-mates in the Scorpions. I don't get it. But regardless, if he wants to think that way, that's fine, but that's not the right place to do it. Not in front of your fans like that, because, we all respect you, admire you, and here you are up there bitching and moaning about shit that happened like 40, 50 years ago. And it's just like, get over it, dude. You're better than this. And that really left a bad taste in my mouth last night. Thankfully, he got that out of the way like in the first, quarter of the set. But he brought it up twice on 2 separate occasions, every time he went to play an old Scorpions tune. And I'm like, you know what? Then don't play the Scorpions tunes if that's what it gets you to not talk about this. You want to say it to a reporter, say it to the media, whatever, but you know what? When you're at a concert and you're going to see one of your idols playing up there, you don't want to hear him slagging his brother, slagging his ex-band, because a lot of people in attendance still like the Scorpions a lot, right? And whatever you guys have going on between each other, keep it to yourself. Please, Michael, you're better than this. So that's my plea to Michael Schenker. Stop this. Stop this Rudolph and Scorpions bashing, because it's just it's been way beneath you. Anyway, on to the show. So he starts off with Holiday, which is really weird because you want the band to come out firing on all cylinders and getting the guns out, right? And they come out and play, and then Michael sings it. So it's almost like kind of like a dig at Klaus, right? It's weird. And they play like a little Holiday thing, and they don't even play the whole song. And then they rip into Doctor Doctor, and then then you get all the singers come out. So you get, of course, Robin McCauley and Gary Barden and Graham Bonnet and Doogie White. Everybody comes out, and they all join into the fray. They each take a turn singing one of the verses. A lot of fun. And I'm not the biggest Dr. Doctor fan, okay? I know a lot of people often cite that as their favorite UFO song. I like a lot of UFO songs better than Dr. Doctor. But as an opener, it actually works quite well, okay? Even though here it's not officially the opener, but it's the first of the whole band coming out. All right, and then you got Chris Glenn on bass. Let me tell you, that guy is the funniest dude ever. He spends the entire show making these bizarre faces, wearing these kooky black glasses with the green lights coming out of him, and he's just sticking his tongue out to everybody and doing all this stuff. It's awesome. He's just so much fun, and he looks like he's having a blast up there. So then they go into a number of tunes from the first 3 Michael Schenker Group albums, MSG albums. So then you got Gary Barden out for the whole time, right? So you got Into the Arena, obviously the instrumental. Are You Ready to Rock? Attack of the Mad X-Men, Rock My Nights Away. Armed and Ready, Messing Around. Okay, and that's a Michael Schenker Fest tune from their last album. Okay, and Barden's there for the whole time. I will tell you, out of all the singers this evening, Barden sounded like complete dog shit last night. I'm sorry, all right? Gary, if you're watching, I'm sorry. You really sounded awful last night. I know these tours are long. I know it's not easy on the vocals, I'm sure. But, Jesus, I mean, he was pretty bad last night, all right? The rest of the band didn't seem to mind it, but I heard numerous people talking in the crowd last night about how bad his vocals were. So definitely he was like the least successful of anything that was going on that stage last night. Michael, however, was playing his ass off, as always. The band was very tight, so it was really good. So then they came out and they played Coast to Coast off of Love Drive, which I mentioned before. And, Michael then comes up to the mic and starts bashing the Scorpions guys, which, again, didn't need to happen, but Coast to Coast was great. Then Mr. Bonnet comes out for some Assault Attack tunes. So you got Dancer, Searching for a Reason, Desert Song. You got Night Moods from the Michael Schenker Fest album. And then, of course, Assault Attack. Awesome stuff. I love the Assault Attack album. Graham sounds really good for a 70-something-year-old guy, man. He wasn't perfect, but he sounded pretty strong. Compared to Gary Barden, he was pretty amazing, right? When you think about it. And yet the funny thing about Gary Barden is he can't sing for shit anymore. But he's got a good presence on stage. He's got the cowboy hat and a little thing growing here. It kind of looks like Ted Nugent, But he's lively on stage. He interacts with the crowd. He's a good front man. His voice just is not there anymore. So what else we got? Then we got Captain Nemo. All right. So then Macaulay comes out. Let me tell you something. This guy can still sing big time. He's got a presence on stage. So they went into a bunch of, Macaulay Schenker tunes. You got, Bad Boys and Save Yourself, Anytime, and then Heart and Soul, which is from the Michael Schenker Fest album from last year. And then for me, one of the highlights of the evening, surprisingly, and I was surprised by myself, but that's how much I got into it, Love Is Not a Game. Okay, which is a Macaulay Schenker Group album song from the Macaulay Schenker Group albums. And that went over like gangbusters. And it was so good. And it's one of those tunes where almost there, if you were a fan back in the day, all the words to that song. And that was kind of like a mild hit for the band. Probably should have been bigger. It's an ultra catchy tune. So good. And everybody was singing and getting into it. So that was a lot of fun. And then, of course, Doogie White comes out. and he's, you know, dressed in the kind of like all this medieval type garb. He's got his Dio thing going on, and, you know, the kilt and everything like that. And he comes out for a Vigilante Man, Lord of the Lost and Lonely, which is really good. The Girl with the Stars in Her Eyes, Before the Devil Knows You're Dead, which is an homage to Ronnie James Dio. And then Take Me to the Church, which is really cool. Live and Let Live, and then everybody else comes out for Warrior. They all take turns singing. Warrior's a great tune. That's a Michael Schenker Fest tune off their Resurrection album. And then, of course, we get a couple UFO tunes. So you got Rock Bottom, right? The little lick I was just playing before, although screwed it up a couple times. Shoot Shoot. Okay, the encores were Shoot Shoot, Natural Thing, and Lights Out. Very, very cool. And, you know, if you're a UFO fan, those are the tunes you absolutely have to hear. And, you know, it would have been cool to hear a couple others, yeah. But the show clocked in at about 2 hours and 45 minutes or thereabouts. So we got out of there a couple minutes early before 11 o'clock, but a really good show. Like I said, the band just seemed to be having a blast with each other. What was really cool is to see all the singers up there together and like really getting along and joking with each other and letting each other take turns. And you got to admit, for all these guys, they're all older now. They can't sing whole sets like this, right? None of them could probably sit up there and sing for 3 hours. Maybe McCall, well, Doogie White probably could. But, you know, the other three guys are getting up there in age. And I think they probably appreciate just having to come out and sing, you know, 3, 4, 5, 6 tunes, and that's it, and just popping back out here and there. So, you know, it's just a really cool tour. And I'm glad I saw it. Had a really good time. Got to hang out with a couple friends I haven't seen in a while. My brother was there, so it was a lot of fun. And like I said, got to meet a few of you viewers, which was kind of nice. So anyway, that's my review of the Michael Schenker Fest show at Irving Plaza in New York City last night, which was May the 11th. If you get a chance, go check them out on this tour. It's a lot of fun. So, but visit us on the web at www.seaoftranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. Of course, we're here on the mighty YouTube. Often. A lot of good stuff coming up. So stay tuned. Don't touch that dial, and we'll be back real soon. Take care, guys.